All right, enough about clickbaity YouTube videos I can make in the gaming sphere. I guess we should relaunch the shorter and more condensed and more awesome version of Prime Cuts. I say that's a lot of hype to put on the first episode.
Yeah,
Well, the first episode back.
Watch it run 4 hours.
So first video up. Do you want to do your Formula One video?
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Formula One is back. Let's go. Are you ready? Lights out and away we go. We're racing around the world. Stay focused.
Formula One.
Formula One. Box, box. It's hammer time. It's wheel to wheel. Oh, what a race.
So a lot of things that drew me to the advert, right? My initial reaction to it was it felt like a really classic, well put together edit, and there wasn't a whole bunch of graphics thrown in my face, and it felt like everything that I like about F1, but that it isn't, but that I like about F1, which is like wheel to wheel racing and the thrill of the competition and like the audience and all the different locations. Like they do their best to try and capture the vibe of every city that they go to and country that they go to. Like my favorite thing about the Mexican Grand Prix is that they have a version of the F1 music, but like mariachi band. It's like brilliant. Like, but
I
it's
was
just
worried you were going to say that because I was like, this is going to sound so bad. But,
no,
I
but
mean,
it's true.
I guess it works.
Go and look it up, right? See if we can stick it in the video because it's brilliant, right? The edit's great, as you say. The sound design, I think, is amazing. What I didn't realise looking at it, because I felt like it all flowed so seamlessly, is I was like, that can't have been. Is that hard? I was like, there's maybe a little bit of graphics like involved, 3D element involved in it. Alan sent me this article, like everything. They said it was an absolute nightmare trying to replace these cars.
I mean, because it's so quick, like, you can see some very obvious like CG shots.
Yeah. A lot of the racing looks like it, but I didn't think that it would be. I thought, can it be that?
But like a lot, the ones that I liked were the kind of like helicopter shots and stuff like that above the track, and then they've put in cars on that track, so they've just got like an empty, flyover of the course,
Yeah.
and then okay, well we need to put the cars in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, that's a lot of vision and a huge amount of trust, because we've worked on projects where you've had to just deal with archive footage and like you're putting stuff in,
Yeah.
and then to have the trust from the client to like, hey, look, we've got a bunch of empty plates here, but trust us, we're going to put cars in. It's going to look really cool.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to know from them like how that process went.
Well, also it's not like an abstract thing. It's not like in a Marvel film when Spider-Man's flipping through the air. You can kind of take some liberties with him contorting in different ways. Whereas like people watching that know what an F1 car going around a track looks like, right? Like you can't have them making turns that are impossible. You can't have them traveling at speeds that are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I wonder what it was done in. I mean, I imagine something like Maya, or because I almost wonder if you could use like a game engine, because we saw with the work you did on the Formula One game, like that, the visual fidelity is pretty impressive.
yeah. Well, do you know what? So when I full disclaimer, everyone, we worked on like a F1 project with EA for the new game coming out. So go and watch that. It was really
bit
good.
Self-promo.
It was really fun, right? But when I showed my other half the trailer, she was like, "Oh, that's like Lando Norris getting in the car." And I was like, "It's in the game engine." She's like, "It's not real." I was like, "No, it's like it's
crazy.
It's like in engine now, right?"
When I looked at the final thing, and obviously EA put a lot of the game footage in because they had it basically, and they have in-house people that can cut. But it was really interesting trying to pick out, okay, well, that's obviously video game. Some stuff is quite clearly video game footage.
Yeah.
But then you're like going, hang on, well, that's almost good enough that if I didn't pay attention, I would have guessed that was a real person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but there's the one you were talking about. For the most of the shots, we need to integrate the cars without having any lighting reference or any sorts of on-set data. This meant we used a more direct eye application and left some of the physically correct factors aside. So yeah, they've kind of, it's not technically factually correct.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you were talking about with your Spider-Man comment earlier.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The way Spider-Man moves doesn't really work in a, like if you look to the physics of it and stuff like that, it probably doesn't work. Like Adam Savage and Mythbusters would probably rip that stuff apart.
Yeah.
But it looks right to the eye.
Which is what.
But it is crazy though that they had to do all that.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I get, that must have been a part of the consideration kickoff meeting, and Sky and F1 are like, we can't provide you any of the like camera data, lens data, none of the lighting or anything like that. Like, but we'll let you take creative liberties with it. Probably if you're a VFX artist, you go, oh yeah, brilliant, that's what we want.
Fix it in post. But yeah, it looks like a lot of it was actually photographs as well that they used.
Oh.
So I guess they took like nice big high resolution photos of Benz or whatever, and then just because there are thinking about it, some of the camera moves are very subtle because you're focused on the movement of the cars through the frame.
But it all just ties together great. Like the sound design, I think, is amazing. Like you get the peaks and the troughs in it, and the cars sound great, and the crowd, the helicopter, and everything. And then like the music, right? Like what a track to pick! Such an iconic, like Daft Punk.
Yeah, I mean it's very on the nose, but nobody's gonna turn their nose up at Daft Punk. Really,
but it makes it feel like fun. Like if you're watching it and you've never seen F1 before, it seems exciting. It seems fast paced. It seems like it's global, like it's everywhere. Like maybe you could pick a race up if you're seeing that trailer in.
Well, I mean, also it's really good at the kind of history and legacy of the sport, because a lot of those places like Brazil, Mexico, Japan, Silverstone, they all have like iconic tracks and bends and stuff like that. Monte Carlo, the tunnel, everybody, and the really tight hairpin bend that is pretty well known because when it gets wet, people just slide off. Yeah.
Yep. No, like every, again, even the like they've shoehorned the big like Las Vegas dome in it. The Las Vegas was like the newest race and everything, and there was a little bit of controversy about it, but the race turned out to be okay. Everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough in there that people who know the sport probably recognize certain parts of the track, but they're not being subtle. Like, I mean, the thumbnail I'm looking at on the Frame Store article about it, it literally has 3 Brazilian flags in it. So it's quite clear, okay, this is the Brazilian part of the season, the Brazilian track. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's really incredible. And like I said, I think there must have been a huge amount of trust between the creatives and the VFX team and then the client, because like I said, they're going to have to have started with a storyboard to get buy-in and get approval, which is fine. But then you're kind of at the mercy of, okay, well, what archive footage have we got that actually matches this? Yeah. And then building out those edits, the track, the sound design and stuff, whilst probably simultaneously having to work on VFX. Yeah. And you can, like those whips in between where you're trying to share progress with the stakeholders and get approval on the next stage before you commit to the VFX work. Yeah. That's got to be
it's
really...
it's probably a grey blob, like
like
it's not even a thing going around the corner.
Yeah, this is like here's some blobs that are moving around the track to show you what's going on. Like, we've been in meetings with stakeholders, and they're just like, some of them are great, but some of them have no creativity.
You can't.
Brain. They just can't visualize it.
You can't switch it on. No, they're just like, and there's not that isn't like a. It's not like a slight on people that can't do it. Like some people just can't visualize that stuff, and that's why.
Oh, dude, I don't even know if I could visualize some of these shots. Like,
honestly, tracks, you're not wrong. Yeah,
there must have been a lot of kind of imagination involved in kind of putting that together, and a lot of then having to get buy-in from stakeholders and trust involved. Which hats off that takes, and also hats off to Sky Creative for having the balls to like trust and let it go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that it's really important that like the decision makers at F1 and Sky and that didn't let like the reality of F1, which is that some of the shots that you're getting in that don't happen in a race. Like at the very end where you've got 3 cars wheel to wheel down the straight, photo finish doesn't happen in current F1.
Especially not this season.
No, when Max Verstappen is just winning all the time, right? But when that doesn't happen, I'm glad that they didn't go, we can't, because it would be very easy for them, and a lot of clients would say, well, that's not a realistic portrayal of the sport and of what we offer. You're gonna have to go back to the drawing board, and you would have ended up with a lesser product. But it seems fun. It seems like
well, you're trying to sell what F1 can be and what that experience is usually about. Let's be honest, Max is going to pretty much win every race this season.
Yeah,
but there's still like head-to-head racing on other parts of the track.
Yeah, they call
So that
it Formula
experience does
1.5. That's what they call it, where you basically take out Ferrari and.
I mean, I'm a proper Formula One, Formula E fanboy at the moment. I'm a full convert because the racing on that racing in that has become so much more competitive, and I think there's 4 or 5 people who are like pretty much serious contenders for top spot for the season. It's pretty fucking good.
Well, if you can pull a second a lap on the person in second place without even trying, like, it's just ridiculous. But all of that aside, the trailer makes it look really, really exciting, and I remember seeing that. And I watch a lot of sports. I watch a lot of Sky. Is on in the background with the golf and everything on all the time. So like, I get peppered with these ads. It takes something quite like special for it to like jump out, and I thought that captures the spirit to me of what F1 is.
Well, I think they do something really clever with the sound design that's going to catch people. Essentially, it's by the kind of dip in the volume. So they start loud and then it dips, and that snaps your attention back. It's broken the pattern. Like, you're going to go, huh? What happened?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, it 100% does it to me at least. And like, if I'm listening to something just in the background and all of a sudden the volume dips, and be like,
Oh yeah, what's going on? Yeah.
I mean, I just snapped through the edit in around like 25, 26 seconds where they have the pit stop.
Oh, that's a brilliant. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
It just really caught my attention again. I'm like, obviously that's all real.
Yeah.
And that's just a great bit of like finding this footage.
Yeah.
Just going, okay, what can we do with this to make it more interesting? But just get the gun, the
wheel gun.
wheel nuts.
Yeah. It's all motivated by the sound. It all like drives the edit forward. It's all just like, it's just like a brilliant bit of editing as well.
I mean, honestly, the sound design in that does so much work because, the track is iconic and great, but for so much of it, you're not listening to the track. You're listening to commentary engine, like tire guns, crowd noise, everything else that's going on in the background. And then the quiet moments just stand out and snap you back. Like, dude, I'm kind of fanboying over this edit again.
It all just slots together really, really well. Like I said, it just feels like a great piece of like editing layered in with a great sound design and layered in with great VFX graphics work, and taking the sound bites from commentators. Is it Crofty? I can't remember if it's Crofty.
I'm a big fan of the edit, and
I
don't want to know how much it cost because that's a lot of VFX.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Sky Sports, they have big pockets, so I'm sure they were fine with
you go and look at that Frame store again. They worked on Wonka, Barbie, Little Mermaid, Guns. Like, they're not a small, so they went to the best to have this done. And I would imagine that.
I mean, you'd kind of have to, like, as much as
you can't take a chance on it. You can't take a chance and have it coming back not looking very good because people know what that looks like, right? Like, that's funny.
Yeah. All in all, that's an amazing piece of work, and the VFX obviously is a huge amount, but it's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
Because it's doing its job well. Yeah, it's. I think that's kind of massively important. The actual editing and the sound design more than anything steals the show for me.
No,
That's
you can have really natural looking CGI, and in this case, it was the only way they could have done it. And the advert isn't lesser for it. In fact, it would be worse if they had tried to use real footage. So they did the right thing. I really believe that, they did the right thing with it.
Okay, well, we'll wrap this one up with a all-round good vibes for Formula One and Sky Sports. Although I'm still going to say people should go and watch Formula E because it's much more competitive at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll be back, and I think next time we will be looking at some other sport video.